Hey guys, welcome back to Yankee Valley Outdoors, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys my 1991 Dodge Dynasty 3.3. Without further ado, let's get right into this video. Hey guys, right here we have my 1991 Dodge Dynasty 3.3. So I want to show you guys around the car, and I just want to say I paid $900 for this car, and for $900 I believe this car is in pretty good shape and I got a pretty good deal. But there is a lot that is wrong with this car, or has been wrong with this car, that I have fixed or am going to get fixed. So without further ado, let's get right into the body of the car. So first off, coming right here, you can see the grill is cracked right there, but I mean, it's really no biggie. It kind of annoys me a bit, but it's not that big of a deal. There's also some scuffs on the bumper. Really not a big deal. Probably just take a black marker and paint over that. And the paint for this thing's not too expensive. So there's that, but overall really good, in really good shape for a car that's like 30 years old. I didn't clean the car, so it's very dirty, but yeah, I don't think you guys care that much about that. There's a scuff mark right here, where it looks like someone smashed into something. That's a little broken, but oh well. The worst dents that are on this whole car, I did. So what happened was I was driving it up on jack stands, or driving it up on like a ramp, and I backed up too hard and the front end bounced and made a dent that is so annoying. I can't stand it. A dent right there, and another dent under there. I mean, it's barely even noticeable, but it still drives me nuts because the car had like no dents on it, and I'm the one who created the biggest dents on the whole car. So that's been primered over so it wouldn't rust. But yeah, it made me so mad at the time when I did it. I wanted to buy a new fender, even though this car is 30 years old. So yeah, just something I did to it. But as you can see, the front end looking really good. You can tell there's like no rust on this car. Now there's some rust starting, so let's go over here. Let's look at the doors real fast. You can see some of the trim is gone. Some of the trim is actually in the car. But yeah, the trim's gone. Not too big of a deal. Once again, I paid $900 for this car. Right now the rims are really ugly because I took the hubcaps off, which I'll show you in a minute. They're in the trunk. The hubcaps actually make the car look really nice. But yeah, I took them off because all of these wheels are dry rotted. All these tires are dry rotted. So I gotta have all 4 new tires. Well, I ordered 2 new tires, and I have another 2 that are in town that have cleats in them, so I'm probably gonna rip the cleats out of them and put those on the back. So over here we have a little bit of a scuff mark. Not too big of a deal. There's a little bit of scuffs here and there. Looks like some scuffing. Well, that's mostly just dirt right there. Yeah, nothing too bad. Come around here, there's another little scuff. I just kind of really love the way this car looks. I'll have to blur out the license plate, but yeah, I just really love how this car looks. Right here, this is a little messed up, but I mean, it's not a big deal. I paid $900 for this car. But yeah, there's the back. Nothing too big. Right here, looks like someone did some kind of Bondo job. Little scuff right there. But overall, nothing too big, as you can see. That rim apparently came from the junkyard. That's another thing I want to talk about real fast. We took the tires off and the rims off because the car was making noise. We would rock back and forth on the wheel. It was making noise and we thought it might be a bearing. But it was just the rim because someone didn't tighten it. That really stinks. So yeah, someone didn't tighten the rim, which this rim is now messed up. Is now kind of messed up because it kind of wallered it out. Good thing is there's a spare. I could probably use the spare for now to get it to pass inspection. But now that it's tight, it doesn't make the rocking noise anymore. Well, it does a little bit. See, as you can hear that. Yeah, that's the rim that's making that noise. This rim is bad, so I'll probably take the spare and use the spare to replace this one. But yeah, that's that. Now let's get into the rust that's actually on the car. So right here, the worst rust on the whole car is right there. That part right there. little rust hole. Well, I'd say it's a little more than a little rust hole. So I got to grind that down and get that so it'll pass inspection, putting a patch on it. But underneath here, this car is pretty much rust free. There's no rust really anywhere except for a little bit on the, there's a little bit on the bumper underneath, which I'll show you in a minute. But yeah, if you look under here, there's like no rust. It does not look like a Pennsylvania car. Yeah, there's that one right there. That's the worst rust on the whole car. Come over here. There's another spot right here. Right there. And really those are the only holes in the whole car. But come over here. I think it's by this back tire. Right there. You can see it's bubbled right there. That will be a rust spot soon. So that I gotta get fixed. It'll pass inspection this year, but that's gonna have to be fixed because I don't want this to rot the whole way up. And also under these beauty covers, there could be rust because that's where it usually starts. But yeah, there's that. Really though, for a $900 car, I got a pretty good deal. But like I said, there's a lot of work that has been done to this car and a lot of work that's gonna get done to this car. Give you guys a overview of the car. Once again, it looks very ugly without the rims on it. The rims make the car look really nice. So now let's take a look. First we'll take a look in the trunk. Let's come on over here. Let's open her up. Door's open pretty nicely. One thing I want to say is one time I opened the door in the winter and it was rubbing right there. So I stuck a piece of cardboard in it and shut it and haven't had the problem since. Let's go now and pop the trunk. There is no way to pop the trunk, I don't think. Probably is a way to open the trunk, but I don't remember how to do it. So right here, this is kind of cool. You got like a hidden feature right here. Take our key, open our trunk. Hope I didn't just scratch the trunk with our key. And here we have our rims, or our hubcaps. See how nice that looks? These make the car look so much nicer. So much nicer. But I had to take them off because got to get the tires replaced. So what I wanted to show you was back here. You'd think this car was like rotten. I don't really feel like digging up the mat, but underneath the mat right there, there's like, it's like perfect. I mean, there's some scuffs, but the trunk looks like brand new. This looks like brand new. It doesn't look like anyone used this trunk. Most of this dirt that's in here is from me. But yeah, that's really awesome. I have noticed there's a leak in the trunk. I think this seal right here is causing water to get in here. Not sure if I'm right or not, but I could be. But yeah, those are the hubcaps. And oh, never mind. Yeah, those are the hubcaps. They gotta be put back on once we get the tires done. Pull our key out. I just smashed my finger. Shut our trunk. Shuts pretty nicely. I love the way this window's like a flat back. I think that's really cool. So yeah, there's some annoying things like, you know, the trim coming off or some scuffs, but $900 well spent. Let's go in the car and review the interior. Then we'll start it up and I'll tell you the things that I fixed on it. Well, we'll go to the back, then I'll show you some of the parts that I fixed. Then we'll go open the hood. Let's come in right here, get in the Dynasty. We'll shut the door so I can give you guys a little bit of an overview. So right here we have our steering wheel. We have an old style, I guess you call it odometer? An old style dash. This is kind of cool when you open the door. It's not working right now, I think it has to be on. But when you open the door, these show red right here. Got a pretty nice steering wheel. Got the emblem right there. Got our horn, everything. Got our radio, which does not work. Funny story about the radio. We went to put the fuse in for the radio and it blew. So the radio doesn't work. Our upper lights do not work either. So if anyone could tell me why there's a short Also, another thing that's kind of annoying is if the battery sits in here for 2 weeks, the car runs dead. The battery runs dead. So there's got to be something. I love these seat adjustments. Up, down, back, back, forward, all these cool things. A handle for the door is actually right here, which I think is really cool. Got some trim. I love the red interior. Like old interiors like this, I really, 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 really enjoy. I wish they would make cars like they used to. This is actually kind of a bench seat, which I think is really cool. It's really cool to have a kind of like a bench seat car today. The Impala has one too, but as you guys know, the Impala there was so much wrong with that Impala. I still plan on fixing it, but the body was kind of rotten, and this car was $900 and has a good body. Has a little bit of rust, but those 2 rust spots aren't that big of a deal. But overall, this car I believe is a really good deal for $900, even though there's a lot wrong with it, or has been a lot wrong with it. But a lot of it's just tune-up stuff to make it, run better. So yeah, that's a little bit of the interior. I'll get out and I'll show you guys the interior when I get out, because I know I'm a little close. My camera is a little close, so it's kind of hard to see everything. Now, one biggest thing that's bad in the interior is there's no headlining, but I think that's pretty normal. Got our back seat right there. Try to give you a little bit of a review of it. Got our flat window back there. I like that, how there's like room in the back window that's kind of flat. But yeah, that interior is kind of ugly. I mean, interior, the ceiling's kind of ugly, but what you gonna do? There's a few rips in the seat, which you'll see when I get out, but overall, I think this is a pretty solid car. Pretty good shape. It's probably an old person owned this car, so it probably was not driven that much. But without further ado, what you guys have been waiting for, me to take the key, put it in the ignition, starts right up. When she is warm, she starts right up without a problem. When she's cold, I have noticed that when I start her, there's a little bit of a hesitation. Not sure exactly what that is. But now, one thing I want to say is when I first started her up, or not first started up, or when I was running her, or idling her for a while, she was like shaking like crazy. So I replaced a few parts. I had to replace the idler control valve, I think. I have the parts behind me, if I can reach them. I think we'll wait on that. But yeah, she starts right up, not a problem there. I think we will we'll open the dash, or the hood. I don't know the names of the parts, so sorry that I don't remember what I replaced, but I replaced some parts because the spring was stuck in the one, and when I replaced it, the rough idle kind of died down. There's still a little bit of a rough idle, but I probably need spark plugs. But yeah, what I was gonna say is there's a rip in the seat here, there's a rip there, kind of annoys me, but I'll just put a patch on it. Bench seat, I love the red interior, it looks really good. Nice dash, I love the little wood trim. Open her up back here, have a good view right here of the back seat. This back seat does not look like it was like ever used at all. So right here we have these two parts right here. I've replaced these. The spring was stuck on this, so this is what was causing it to rough idle. Also blowing smoke out of the back. I think it's because of this thing. And then this one's the other one that's above it. Replace this one, and the car is running so much better. Another thing we have to replace, I have a fuel filter, and right here we have the spark plugs. I'm gonna have a mechanic put these in and put in a bunch of other parts, which we'll get into in a second. Yeah, got all the spark plugs. This is the 3.3, so it's the bigger engine. Right here we have our valve cover gaskets, which really need replaced. So yeah, that's a good view of the car so far. Overall, I have not actually driven this car on the road yet. but yeah. So before I show you guys the engine, I wanted to show you guys this. I wanted to show you guys the back seat. So, oh, this seat's very comfortable. It's really cool being in here. I wouldn't mind being a person in the back seat in this car. Pretty nice bench. It's pretty squishy. It's like no one's ever used it. One thing that's annoying is the wooden trim's off right there, but it's right here on the floor, so I guess I can glue it back in. Oh, these are actually cup holders. I mean, I don't see what kind of cup's actually gonna fit in that, but those are cup, well, maybe a can would fit. No, that might be too small. Yeah, I don't know what those are really for, because I don't think they're gonna fit anything, but yeah, this is the back seat. I think it's pretty cool. I'm really enjoying this car. Oh, the window actually works. These are little flat things. But yeah, there's a ashtray. Never been used. Guess this was like a little old lady that had this or something. But overall, I like the car, and hopefully it gets me by as being my daily driver for a while. There's little lights up here, but they don't work because of whatever that fuse is that's bad. If anyone knows what fuse, like we put the fuse in for the stereo and it blew. If anyone knows why that would blow or what would cause that to blow, let me know, because yeah, we don't have a radio, we don't have lights up there. These lights don't work. It's kind of annoying. It would kind of be nice if those worked. So if anyone knows what could cause that, let me know. Give you guys a little bit of an overview of this. Yeah, overall I think I got a good deal for $900, even though I'm probably gonna put about 1,000 into it soon. So let's get to the engine and let me talk about that. All right guys, so far I've replaced the PCV, I've replaced these two sensors right here, and now the car is running a lot better. So right here we have the valve cover gaskets. I think they're blown. What blew them was the PCV. Now the PCV is fixed. It's not leaking as much oil, but it's still leaking a lot of oil, so it has to be replaced. Same thing with the one that's under everything. And also I'm getting all the plugs changed at the mechanic. I knocked my camera around. But yeah, we're getting the plugs changed. We're gonna get the gaskets changed. And I replaced this right here thinking it was the squeaky noise. And the squeaky noise is kind of gone now. Well, it's still there, but it's not as bad as it was. Half of the problem was, I guess there was oil on this belt causing it to squeak. So the squeaking was annoying, so I was like, oh, is it the belt? So I put soap on the belt and it threw the belt off. So it was a pain in the butt for us trying to figure out how to get the belt back on, because you got limited space to work in there. But after replacing this, I found out that the power steering pump is bad, and that pulley is loose, which is probably causing some of the squeak. But a lot of the squeak, I think, was coming from there being oil on this belt that's getting thrown out of there. There's also a ton of power steering fluid that's down there. So that's got to be replaced. He's going to check the water pump when he does it too. And he's also going to change the oil pan gasket. We come down here, I can show you guys, and it's leaking like crazy. Yeah, see how bad that's leaking? Yeah, the oil pan gasket is leaking so bad, I'm gonna have to replace it too. So this is gonna cost me a pretty penny. We'll get the new tires pretty soon. Tires have to be mounted and balanced. Car's got to be inspected. First, what we're gonna do is change the front brakes before we take it in, because it's not gonna pass at the front brakes. The back brakes are drum brakes, so I can't even look at them, but the emergency brake works good. So I guess we're good where we are there. There's another piece of trim missing right there. But yeah, something is causing this battery to drain. If the battery's plugged in more than like a week, the battery runs dead. I don't think it's the battery, because this is multiple batteries that have done this. So yeah, but they have been all older batteries. So something is shorting out, causing the stereo not to work, causing my upper lights not to work. So something's there, because once again we put that fuse in and it blew, so we have a short somewhere. But overall, I think I got a pretty good deal for $900, but everything needs work, so the car is probably going to cost me to fix it the same price that I paid for it, but it is what it is. The transmission fluid's new. One thing I want to complain about is, I guess the previous owner did not change the oil, because when I dumped the oil, it was black and it was so dirty. There was no shavings or anything, so I don't think there was any damage done, but yeah. The previous owner did not change the oil. I'm guessing they didn't, because it looked like that oil has been in there 10,000 miles. Here's what I think they did. Just listen to the engine for a second, I'll get into what I was going to say. There's probably a miss in this car. It's probably one of these old plugs, because the plugs look original. So yeah, they'll be done, and hopefully we start running good, but shut the engine down. So apparently the previous owner and everyone else was going off the sticker on the mileage, but yet that has not changed. I don't think that's changed, because the odometer, I think, is broke. So since the odometer is broke, it seems that the oil has not been getting changed, which kind of stinks, because, you know, if someone was going off that sticker, they wouldn't change the oil. So yeah, that's kind of bad. But the oil was like black when I changed it. So that kind of stinks, but at the same time, it is what it is. Hopefully its whole life it wasn't treated like that. But if there's only, like, let's say 80,000 miles on this car, we should be good. As you can see, I put my phone on the steering wheel. There's a little bit of a shake. There's still a little bit of a rough idle that's got to be figured out. But it is annoying though, is the guy I bought this from, he had a bunch of work done on it. And the mechanic that did the work, replacing the alternator, replacing the computer and other things, didn't even bother to check the oil. Like, what kind of mechanic doesn't check the oil? It's kind of dumb. It doesn't make any sense to me why the oil, that's what I was talking about earlier, the door. But yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me why a mechanic wouldn't, you know, check the oil. I just don't get it. But yeah, it is what it is. From now on, this engine's going to be treated well. I'm going to actually, you know, make sure the oil gets changed as often as possible. So we'll see how long we last with proper maintenance. I'm guessing there's probably 80,000 miles on this car, maybe higher. Who knows? Who knows when the odometer broke? But it is what it is. One thing that is annoying is when you open this thing, it gets stuck. Well, guys, I guess that's close to the end of the video. Give you one last look at the Dynasty before we head out. Thank you guys so much for watching this video on my 1991 Dodge Dynasty 3.3. I really appreciate you guys checking this video out. I was kind of all over the place showing you guys the car and showing you the car I picked up for $900. That will be my first car and will be my daily driver. So hopefully we don't blow up. Hopefully it lasts and we get a lot of life out of this car. I really appreciate you guys watching this video. Thank you guys so much. And as always, don't forget to drop a like on this video, hit that notification bell, and subscribe for more content. And as always, keep it electrified. I'll see y'all later.